Hi everyone. I thought I'd have a go today at tackling this nice large canvas. It always seems a little bit more daunting the larger the canvas it is. So I've made up a reference photo just on Canva, mixing and matching things I like, trying to get an idea. It's just to inspire me, and I'll probably divert from it because I usually do. But it gives me a place to start. I can look at it and think, well, what would I put down first in that? So I'm looking at this thinking, obviously, the blues, which I always do. So I'm going to start with some lighter colours and darks and light blues and things underneath and see where that takes me. I also want to do a partner painting to the mermaid one I did that everybody loves and I love. It's one of my favourites. So I thought I'd do something along the same colour scheme, but a different mermaid, and so that they could be placed together, particularly if they were prints or even the originals, and match or bought as two separate items. I've gone with a mix of the white titanium, golden, and the golden Folio blue. When you're putting paint on the canvas, it's always best to go lighter than what you actually want it to turn out because acrylic paint dries darker. I love this stage because the paint's sort of globby and it just feels really nice to put it on the canvas. You're not actually trying to paint anything, you're just applying the paint as a base coat. At this stage, I'm just making sure I get enough paint on the canvas to cover the canvas so the white bits don't show through. You know, you're an artist when you flick paint on your face, and rather than stop painting because you're in a really good bit, you keep going and wipe it off later. So that's the first cake done. To show you, and I'll just let that dry now. So I've come in this morning and I've started to fill in some of the basics of the mermaid or the lady swimming in the water. And I'm using just a white, titanium white, with a little bit of the raw umber, just a tiny bit, to bring the white so it's not so bright. And this one, which is Titan Mars Pale by Golden, and just mix a little bit of that in as well. And so I'm starting to take shape. Mermaids are deeply symbolic figures representing transformation, femininity, playfulness, duality, and mystery. As symbols of both freedom and danger, they remind us of the childlike curiosity and excitement, kind of like a Christmas morning feeling. That feeling where you want to break free, to become more than you are now, as well as the fear of having to step out of your comfort zone into the unknown. We choose whether their enchantment leads us into danger, as in the sirens leading the sailors to drown in the sea, or whether they lead us to freedom and transformation. They come from our imagination. We imagine ourselves, particularly when we look at them in art, as that feeling of freely floating in the water. And it's sort of being untethered by societal constraints. You're just there, floating yet powerful enough to move with speed and agility. Their connection to water also ties them to intuition, to emotions, to the subconscious realms, making them powerful symbols of hidden feminine knowledge.
this morning after a night of doubting my mermaid painting, thinking that it wasn't quite enough and I needed to add some more. But I walked through the door and I was like, no, I like it just as she is. But what I did notice was this area. It's feeling a bit cramped. I've got too many chairs in here, too much stuff. I've still got the place set up for when I did the open studio, so it's taking up space here. And while you've got paintings on the walls, and that's great for people looking to buy paintings, it means that there's no space to create new paintings. There's no room there to do more. So even though I've got this big table here underneath, which you can't see, it's all set up ready to go, I do like to have white spaces because they invite me to create. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reorganise this bit and see what I can do.
So during the week, I also had a go with these water-mixable oil paints. It's a fairly limited palette because there's only so many in here. And this is what I've come up with, this one. So I watched a YouTube video and the lady who was painting these flat little mini flower paintings, she coats the whole background with acrylic paint first in different colours and then comes in with the oils over the top. Look at that sheen. Isn't that lovely? So I'm going to have a go with a few more of these and hopefully that'll be in next week's video. I just finished painting the backgrounds of two 8x8 canvas squares, and one of them I've used this turquoise mixed with white, the golden turquoise. And of course I've got a brush then full of paint, so I'm looking around what else can I use it on. And this is the beauty and why I wanted to make this extra space along here, is because things that I'm not quite sure, that they're not quite finished, I can leave them up here. And then when I do have a little bit of inspiration, come back as I've done here and add the turquoise right across here. And it's just brought it up a bit. Still not quite happy with the trees, but because it's here, as I'm working on other things, I'll just get a thought and come back and be able to finish it.